like a museum of memories. It stays with you forever.
And the action keeps rolling along, wrestling fans. We are back at the Barre Elks Lodge in Barre, Vermont. Green Mountain Wrestling's Caged Mayhem II continues on, and we have come to the first match of a double main event here for Caged Mayhem II. On their way to the ring, the tag team that has continually, time and time again, established themselves as not only one of the most talented teams in Green Mountain Wrestling, but also one of the most dastardly, disgusting, and vicious and malicious teams here in the state of Vermont. Abed, Arroniz and Krule are here on their own accord. They are in this situation, hold on a second, taking a toy off of a fan who clearly spent his own or his parents' money to purchase that toy, dropping elbows. Rest assured, that's the easiest that Abed Arroniz is going to have going up against anything related to Danhausen. They previously aligned themselves with Johnny Pierce, and when Pierce and Memory Museum were teaming up to beat up Mullet Man, Preston Douglas came down and seemingly aligned himself with the group. And when he was about to smash the head in of the Mullet Maniac with a chair, he did the right thing for the very first time in his life and turned the chair against Johnny Pierce. And after those actions, Abed Arroniz and Krule challenged Preston Douglas to a tag team match, assuming he had no friends in the business. But Preston Douglas pulled an ace out of his pocket. Mr. Elegant Preston Douglas being flanked by his daughter Rosie, coming down to the ring, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. The crowd here at the Barre Elks Lodge is actually cheering Preston Douglas, clapping to his music, and I find myself joining in. And Rosie being in his corner is a significant figure here, because when questioned as to why Preston Douglas finally decided to do the right thing, he said that he wanted to go forward looking himself in the mirror and being able to be okay with the man that he saw. And he wanted his daughter to be able to look at her father and be okay with who she saw. And so Preston Douglas has claimed he has turned a new leaf. And when we thought Preston Douglas didn't have any friends, it turns out Douglas had the perfect foil in mind here, as a huge profile name has aligned himself with Mr. Elegant. And what an individual he has found. Forged in the 7th and 11th chapter of Dante's Inferno, Danhausen. The very nice, very evil Danhausen has arrived in Green Mountain Wrestling. And when Danhausen was approached with the concept of teaming with Mr. Elegant Preston Douglas, he immediately denied. He said absolutely no way. Listen, word has spread far and wide about the previous antics of Preston Douglas, but when he was clued in to the change of heart and to the situation at hand, Danhausen accepted. Because when there's any evil to be done in this world, Danhausen wants to be the only one doing the evil, quite frankly. And when other evildoers are around, Danhausen is here to stop them in their tracks. He does not like competition, quite frankly. And I know I saw him coming out of the ring with that jar. I don't want to talk about what's in there. He's got it in his hand right now. And woe be it to Memory Museum if they find out. Well, before we go any further, let's kick it over to Big Tone for the opening announcements.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. And is brought to you by Pearl Street Pizza. Wood-fired pizza and Italian fare in the heart of Vermont, including appetizers, a full bar, and their famous grandma slices. Head to Pearl Street Pizza for the best pizza in town.
Big Tone is hyped tonight.
Introducing first, in the corner to my right, from Neverland, and weighing in at 360 pounds, Abed Arroniz, and Joe Krule Memory Museum!
Honestly, I thought they closed down Neverland. Unless they're talking about the literary, fictional
Their
area.
opponents,
Okay, we'll go with that.
first from Barre, Vermont, and weighing in at 200 pounds, Mr. Elegant Preston Douglas!
200 pounds, the man even slimmed down for this. He's serious business tonight.
And his tag team partner, very nice, very evil, love that Danhausen!
What a presence this man has.
The referee for this contest, Adam Brunton!
Adam Brunton getting to officiate this semi-main event here tonight. Before we get going, we got to make sure to give a quick shout out to our tag team partner for this matchup, none other than Pearl Street Pizza. Yo, those grandma slices are serious. Make sure to get there if you're ever in town. Thank you so much to Pearl Street Pizza for once again sponsoring the Action Agreement Wrestling and Independent Wrestling in the great state of Vermont.
Or that little kid over there, I can't tell the difference.
That kid doesn't have any tattoos. It's clearly a mask, not face paint. It's a ridiculous claim. That kid isn't even old enough to get tattoos, even if he says he's got it on his shirt. Silly.
You! Whoa!
Oh no, he's cursed him! Danhausen has cursed Abed Arroniz! What horrible, despicable curse has he put upon the man? There's no telling. He has so many awful curses. Arroniz just... Abed Arroniz claiming that there's no effect of the curse. Wait a minute! Abed Arroniz can't even stand on his own 2 feet. Kick right to the jaw. And this matchup has officially begun. Abed Arroniz put in the corner, getting tuned up by Danhausen.
What's that?
Crowd counting along. Love that Danhausen counting to 10 on the skull of Abed Arroniz. Beautiful suplex. Goes for the cover now with one finger. There's a lot of power in that finger. That took a lot of energy to kick out of that. Don't be fooled by it. Ducks the clothesline. Ducks the back elbow. Crossbody takes one half of the Memory Museum down. 2 count only. Oh no, we've got the jar. I can't look. No. Abed Arroniz realizes the gravity of the situation and gets out of there fast. Preston Douglas, Mr. Elegant, to the cheers of the crowd for the first time in probably his entire life, is tagged into this matchup. It's got to be symmetrical. You got to give symmetrical love nowadays. Ducks the clothesline. Preston Douglas asks, "Why are you coming at me?" All right, no, I'm sure he knows. He knows. Preston Douglas calling a timeout. Is he gassed already? It has been a while since he's been in the ring. Ducks are calling over one more time.
Why are you not playing these games no more with you? I'm going to put you down on this head and hurt you if I really want to.
Preston Douglas applies a headlock on Krule. Krule escapes. Applies a headlock of his own. Preston Douglas now needs to figure out a way out. Sends him off the ropes. Ducks that clothesline. Comes off his rope. Shoulder tackle. Takes Joe Krule down. Preston Douglas hyped up. Danhausen approves. He had some advice. I don't think Preston Douglas heard it while he was distracted. Joe Krule comes and turns things around with a scoop slam, and now Abed Arroniz. The curse mostly worn off now. Tagged into the matchup. Preston Douglas being double teamed by Memory Museum. Wait a minute. Danhausen comes in, stops the double suplex from happening. Ducks a double clothesline off the ropes. Double boots. Danhausen with the save. Now being smothered by that fantastic homemade sign. Hit with the sign. It's not doing much. It's a paper sign. And Danhausen rightfully returning the sign to the owner. Very nice. He's very evil, but he's also very nice. Danhausen taking it to Abed Arroniz as Joe Krule and Preston Douglas exchange blows. Oh no! Kick right to the face of Preston Douglas. Joe Krule leaves the side of Preston Douglas and gets his eyes on Danhausen. Danhausen hiding behind a very large man. I've seen that guy before. Very familiar. Danhausen taking it to Joe Krule. Abed Arroniz talking trash to the fans here in the Barre Elks Lodge. Joe Krule heading towards the ring. Face first into the steel post goes Danhausen. All four men finding their way back. Oh no, wait a minute. Preston Douglas is trying to escape. Abed Arroniz cuts him off. Now he's surrounded by Krule and Abed. In and out of the ring, Preston Douglas. Hey, listen, maybe he's had a change of heart, but old habits die hard. The man is running. I don't blame him. The Memory Museum is a very well accomplished, very talented tag team. But now he has got to pay the piper. He accepted the challenge. Oh my God, but he never accepted that boot right to his face. Abed Arroniz up to the top. Splash. Wait a minute. Some abdominal pain, perhaps lingering effects of that curse. Abed is looking a little green. He's looking a bit peaked. He looks like he's powering through it. It's Preston Douglas now, blocking his shot, sending one back on his own, but Abed Arroniz buries his knee in the midsection of Preston Douglas. Now reversal, putting him right back into that corner, chest first. No doubt knocking the wind out of Mr. Elegant. Pressing his knee into the throat. Danhausen now finally getting back up to the corner, as is Joe Krule. But Danhausen sent back to the floor after an elbow from Abed Arroniz. Double teaming going on in the corner as Danhausen letting his emotions get the better of him. And referee Adam Brunnen having to hold him back. As Memory Museum do what they do best. And I'm not going to talk about their incredibly awesome new gear. I'm not going to talk about how cool it looks. I'm not going to compliment them in that way, absolutely not. Because they're jerks and they don't deserve it. I would compliment their gear makers if I knew who they were. Perhaps I should have done my homework on that one. I'll take that out. Kudos to the gear makers. They'd probably look a lot better on somebody else, however. As Preston Douglas takes a rising uppercut and a kidney punch right to the liver.
What happened? Because y'all used to hate Preston, so why do you like him now?
Because he's a changed man. He grew. He evolved. People do that. They go through different experiences and they change their point of view. what we do as human beings. That's what good human beings do. They grow, they evolve, they get better, they do better. And Preston Douglas is on that path. A headbutt from Abed Arroniz. Puts him in his own corner. Now, Preston Douglas in enemy territory. Joe Krule tags in. Big boot right to the face again. And Preston Douglas talked about he wants to be able to see a man that he can respect in the mirror. Unfortunately, he may be looking in the mirror and seeing two black eyes from those boots. You see Rosie in the background, his daughter cheering him on from the stage. Well out of harm's way, but watching her father be decimated by the tag team of Memory Museum. Went for the double team maneuver, but no, Preston Douglas had it scouted. Ribbons in the sky, thwarted. Abed Arroniz sent to the outside. Joe Krule still in there with him. Gets a kick. Up to the top turnbuckle, middle rope. Bulldog! And this is the opportunity that Preston Douglas needed. Mr. Elegant has a shot here. He has an opportunity to get to his corner, to tag in the more fresher, the more evil Danhausen, to even up the odds here. He's crawling, inching his way, scraping by, reaching for that tag. Joe Krule tags it up at Arroniz, and Danhausen is legal. Manhattan drop off the ropes. Big clothesline takes Abed Arroniz down. Joe Krule hits the deck as well. Catches that clothesline, turns it around. Beautiful Northern Light suplex. Clotheslines back and forth, making his rounds, doing some laps. Beautiful bulldog clothesline combination. And all the demons and ghouls back in Danhausen's world, watching on closed captions, are cheering right now for him. Beautiful German suplex out of the corner. And Danhausen reigning supreme here. And the sick, sadistic crowd here at the Barre Elks Lodge are cheering for this, and they're getting what they wanted. The teeth! Oh my God, I can't watch! Oh God! Kicked right out of his pocket in over his own. 1, 2, no! Joe Krule breaks it up at the very last moment. Any number of those teeth could have been Abed Arroniz's. Elbows, fighting his way out, clawing the eyes of Danhausen. Ribbons in the sky! Danhausen may be out for the count here. No! No! Danhausen kicks out of a maneuver that I don't think I've ever seen anyone kick out of. I know some smartass on the internet is going to say, oh, you know, this match, and I can't remember, okay? I can't recall it all. Picks him up, no! Boots in the face! Danhausen breaks free! Double DDT on Memory Museum! And Danhausen, a scene I never thought I would see. Danhausen reaching for the tag of Mr. Elegant, Preston Douglas. Could Preston Douglas be the savior of this matchup for their team? Douglas tagged in. Clothesline. Clothesline. Hip toss. Pop-up powerbomb onto the teeth. Good God. Preston Douglas off the ropes. Springboard. He may not have gotten exactly what he wanted, but he got some impact. It wasn't enough to keep him down, however. Douglas says no to the tag and catches a boot. Oh no, wait a minute. Face first into that top turnbuckle. But Danhausen tries to change the focus of Abed Arroniz. And now, Joe Krule.
Memory Museum sucks!
Good God, up in the electric chair position. Could this be the end of Mr. Elegant Preston Douglas? No! Doomsday Tornado DDT! Joe Krule with the pin, and that's gonna be... No! Danhausen with the save! Danhausen with the save! Very nice, very evil, very coming in clutch. Fending off both members of the Memory Museum. Danhausen is a house of fire. Chops. The man can't be stopped. Oh no, maybe he can't be stopped. Memory Museum just stopped Danhausen. Cutting off the momentum. Now looking to meet Danhausen with the same fate that Mr. Elegant met. Oh, the curse! The curse continues! The curse is alive! The curse lives! Danhausen goes for the eyes! Goes for Arroniz. Over the shoulders, private care position. No! Douglas! Oh! A pin on both! And they did it! They did it! The Memory Museum is defeated!
Here are your winners, the team of Preston Douglas and Danhausen!
Against all odds, against belief, Preston Douglas has done the right thing and stayed on the right track, teaming up with Danhausen and being the father that he wants to be for his daughter. Preston Douglas and Danhausen stand victorious over one of the most successful tag teams in Green Mountain Wrestling. I can't believe I'm saying it. What an incredible showing. I'm not gonna give any compliments to the Memory Museum. Get them out of here. I'm sick of seeing them. I can't believe that I'm seeing what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing it, and I know you're seeing it, and you're seeing me see it, and I'm seeing everybody see it. Mr. Elegant is here in Green Mountain Wrestling, and he is the Preston Douglas that we all want him to be. And Danhausen, what a showing! Danhausen coming to Green Mountain Wrestling and coming in clutch for his team. What an incredible person, being entity. Danhausen is the man. Folks, don't go anywhere. We have a huge main event coming up for you in a steel cage matchup. Johnny Pierce takes on Mullet Man with Donnie the Boss in his corner. Caged Mayhem II comes to a crescendo. Don't go anywhere, folks. Green Mountain Wrestling continues on. Somebody give me a seltzer.